Hey everyone, so this is going to be a random video. It is early Thursday morning. I am so sleepy. Oh shoot, hurry up. I wanted you guys to see this and a car just cut me off. Damn it, car. So I was planning on my next video. That stupid car cut me off again. You're the enemy. So I was behind, sorry that was random, partially unsafe. I was behind this car, Jeep, and I was thinking about my next video. If you can't see that clearly, sorry, it's raining in LA. That's the Star of David in front of me. It's just a random, well not a random, but the tire, it's not intentionally like, you know, the Star of David, but the shape of it is exactly the Star of David. So I was in thought process, putting you on my dashboard now. What's interesting is, here we go. Hi. I was thinking about the next video and how I wanted to narrate everything and kind of tie in some facts together. And basically how I was gonna start was, here's a video about how I was going to do a video. In my sleep yesterday during my power nap, I heard, it was like literally a voice that said something right into my face, and it was in the form of Edras. It would just say Edras, and I opened my eyes like, what the, you know, because I literally, it sounded like a voice that was in my apartment speaking to me literally while I was sleeping, and it was so sharp and so clear that I woke up like in fear, like who the hell's in my apartment? So I remember that there was a book called Edras, kind of like, you know, the book of Genesis, book of, you know, etc. There's one called Edras, Edras. And I could be wrong or I could be off on what I heard. I was so out of it that I didn't even think to write it down when I heard it, because if I wrote it down, like I always tell myself, leave a notebook next to the bed. When you hear or gather things, write it down, because a lot of times you forget stuff after you go back to sleep, right? So what I recall, I just heard Edras. So the book of Edras, I put it in the description box below because I'm going to leave a lot of facts out, but it talks about the game players and the anticlimactic shift that happened after the rebuilding of the Temple of Israel. And then it also talked about King Cyrus. So if you guys don't know, allegedly, you guys probably don't even know, but Mr. T in the White House has an interesting connection to King Cyrus. And because we're in the dome, according to the fallen angels and their storyline, no one actually leaves this dome. They stay here. So after death, you're reborn. Reincarnation. And I'm just trying to like watch myself, because I've noticed when I've been saying a couple things, my videos have a hard time uploading. I'm copying Ashira Star Goddess's facial expression. I love her. Watching her videos, it's contagious. She'll but yeah, there's an interesting connection between Mr. T and King Cyrus. This is why I kind of been a little bit, I don't know if supportive is the word, because it just seems familiar to not go against something, because it's really about who's working around the person, and we don't know to what extent that entity is actually honest and pure and trustworthy around the person. I'm saying that's why I kind of don't disagree with all the things that go on in politics right now, except for when people are coming against, you know, what's happening. So it talks about oh geez, I forgot the names. Nehemiah, and it talked about, I forgot the person's name, but he was the ruler of Babylon and wanted the temple of Solomon to be sacrificial and not a place of praise. So the old people, the OGs, were like pissed, because they were like, you just took something that was so special and sacred. We all like were hoping for this to happen, and you just effed it up. That was according to, I'm just trying to remix it so it sounds current, updated. Long story short, we're in that same exact position right now. It's when I was watching the video I put in the description box, it literally it puts us in the same freaking position as 60 years ago and 6,000 years ago. Literally. Like, we are at, it's weird. It's 600 years ago, 60 years ago, 600 years, 6,000 years. 666. It's weird, but when I did my Google searches and research, there was an anticlimactic shift every single time you had the number 6 in play, which means that the opposition always acted on these alignments. And every time the opposition, I won't say evildoers, but go figure, they did something every time. Now, on the positive side of things, as I've been kind of leading up to saying, the last 11 years, we had our own personal anticlimactic situation in 2008, when the housing market went and the insurance market went. What is it? Wall Street shut down for what, a couple days. Like, it was major, dude. We're coming around the same bend, and I think it all leads up to Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I don't like to keep putting fear or I just trying to keep my dialogue in the same bucket, that we have to really do our best to co-create and to stay as holistic as possible. That's internal, your body. So I'm trying to enjoy the last couple days of things that I enjoy before I just go back to eating grains and nuts and oats for 3 days. It's kind of like a, I don't know, like a plant fast, if you may. Excuse me, I'm yawned. If you guys know LAX airport, that's what, just an airplane flew over my head. This is where I am on the freeway. It's weird because sometimes I don't doubt myself, but I ask a question, well, what if I'm a little bit off, or what if, you know, I'm sidetracked, or, you know, is this information I'm putting out legit? And you can't make this up. You can't make up that. A lot of you have been following me for the past week. You've been following my dialogue. That's why I kind of like me and my channel. I'm just saying, because if you follow along with what I'm saying, you see a pattern and a trend that everything's growing and evolving. And it's leading up to where we are now. So I feel like I have the responsibility, because I don't want to go through another some odd years to get to a point where we get shifted out of what we deserve, what our gift is, what our rewards are. Like, we've woken up and we have come so far and done so much. And I was thinking about what 2012 to now makes 8 years. Like, the numbers just don't lie. Like, everything is so, oh gosh, I don't think anyone in the world, maybe some people have, but I don't think anyone has really done all this thorough numerology before. I don't think it's done before. So I'm a key player in, kind of like how Neo Glimmer had like the weight last year. And that pressure really just kind of, it got to him. That pressure is hard. But for me, going through that and supporting him last year allowed me to say, you know what, I might have 229 subscribers, but I pray and hope that the messages are clear and they are precise, and that they meet the people that deserve and need to hear what I need to say. In the last video that I posted, I forgot to mention 2 things. A, that it is about being a good person. I think I was trying to go over the basics that I forgot to mention, that a lot of this does have to do with the pureness of your heart, meaning, you know, not wishing ill on people, you know, all those good, kind things without taking away from reality, without taking away from people, without putting people down. Like, you have to be genuine in yourself and genuine in front of others. Others have to witness what you behold and what you are in order for you to blah blah blah. The second one was about sacred secretion, that it does talk about being abstinent for 30 days to allow this oil to, it's already in our gut, it's already down below in our bodies, because how long have we been alive so far? The problem is it's having an issue going up. This is why, excuse me, hiccups. Or I'm having my, as I call it, the download burps. When I'm channeling, I get the so 30 days of abstinence is probably virtually impossible for a lot of people who are millennials. It is what it is. That's why holistic approach to the pineal gland and all that stuff, the holistic approach helps speed the process up. It helps you mentally, like, kind of restructure yourself without you having to really think about doing it. It's just, what I'm trying to say is, because the body naturally is having some issues, we're in 2019 where a lot of things distract your body from its natural evolutionary process. You have to now put in holistics in your body and different elements of your body, plant base, herbal base, essential oil base. This is why I'm trying to do like lavender showers, Lang Lang, YLANG, if you don't know how to spell it, Lang Lang oil on my feet, magnesium, my armpits. I'm really trying to help put my body into meditative state, where I'm constantly in a meditative state. Even as I'm driving in traffic, I'm like, oh, I just want to go back to my meditative state. That's the whole point of ascension. You can't have ascension without having the stasis, without having this meditative state. This is why when you see the Inca, this is going to be another video of mine too. I'm rambling. I think I'm going to go for 2 more minutes. When I think about the Inca, the Buddha, the elephant, is there another one? The elephant represents humbleness and humble approach, gentleness, kindness, all that stuff. That's what the symbolism of the elephant is. But you notice how all the feet are crossed? That's a meditative state. They've all went to meditative state. Inca always has her, him, their eyes closed. Young Buddha, eyes closed. Older Buddha, eyes closed and happy. Those are all meditative states. The only one that doesn't have eyes closed is, actually you do see when Jesus on the cross, eyes are closed. Even the Mary statue, the Virgin Mary, eyes are closed. So all of this, I'm just trying to collect it all in one piece, because I've been able to see, how everything leads to truth. Everything is the same thing, essentially. I've been trying to really figure out Inca and Buddha. Young Buddha and Inca look exactly the same. Call me crazy. It's just the headpiece is the same. Or, the god in Thailand. I should have done more homework. But it's the headpiece with the little needle on the top. I was like, isn't that the same person as the young Buddha? Same person, right? Same sitting position, same outfit. Anyways, it just fascinates me how everything is literally the same. And the young Buddha is literally like probably under 33 years old. And you think about the story of Jesus, where, he was born of a manger and then disappeared for 30 years. Where did he go? And did the three disciples, what did they offer as an exchange to take him somewhere? So that's the missing link that people don't know, and it's probably a hidden secret that I just revealed, that what was delivered to Mary and Joseph in exchange for this child to be raised discreetly somewhere in Shambhala, in the mystic temple, where the North Star shined bright over it. Hello. Navigating on to other stuff. I missed one thing. This is like a catch-up video. Watch the video of the book of Edras, Edras. This guy is awesome. It's like 20 minutes long, and he just sums it up and collects the story. Because sometimes, when you read verses and text like that, it's confusing to see that it's all an instruction manual and it's all a what had happened type situation. Even the story of the fallen angels, I was talking about that yesterday, and people were, I was reading the comments and people were saying the same thing. They were saying wow, it's crazy how, it's really telling the fallen, the Bible is telling the fallen angels, you have fallen and this is why, and this is what happened. That's the difference between Jews and Gentiles. It's hard to figure out who's what. Then you also have Israelites and I forgot the other one. Was it Canaanites? Israelites, Canaanites. I've been trying to figure out who are the main game players and how to translate them into modern day. So that's another video I was trying to work on. But because I work full time and I'm a personal trainer, it's really hard to find the time to sit down and talk. I really want to get a message to Higher Self channel about what's happening on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. And for them, I have to change my words and dialogue. I can't just be words for wisdom how I am. I have to be more clean cut and beat around the bush. And I wanted to tell them that, there's a major wave coming through, but I really don't know how to put it in words to tell them to put this video out and say, look, there's a major huge wave coming through and it's going to last for 3 days and people have to prep themselves for it. because this wave could either mean more UV, more gamma. It could be Planet X, Nibiru, more gamma, more red oxide, which is bad. Dude, this is probably what the famine and pestilence is that Revelation was talking about. It's funny because in LA, not funny, but ironic, because in LA, they always say measles outbreak and major staphylococcus, staph infection is, upon LA amongst the homeless people and this and that. But those are all assumptions because they're not studies that prove it, and there's no DNA and blood involved to really have a proper statistic. I was part of a research study years ago where I was in a statistic. Like, they followed me for 3 years and literally got my everything in my life was documented for 3 years with this statistics group. It was a healthy man research study. It was about our sexual life. What else did I want to tell you guys? Oh, so this morning I was leaving 7-Eleven buying all this junk food, and this guy, he was obviously homeless. He was like, there was thunder, and I was walking in 7-Eleven, and then he was like, I was saying to an employee outside, it's crazy weather. He's like, and the homeless guy says, crazy weather, but God's behind it. And I looked at him funny because I said, God didn't create this weather. This isn't God. It's not. I'm so confident, and we have so much evidence that how do you have May gray, June gloom, and April showers for the last like 4, 5, 6 freaking months in sunny California? The LA where the we were used to going to the beach almost every weekend because it was 70, 80 degrees for up until last November, or after the eclipse. So something's going on. But in conclusion, what he was saying to me when I walked out, he's like, nice bead, sir. And he's like, he thought these were, I forgot what he said. I think he said Buddhists. I said, no, they're from Persia. A very special person who is Persian gave these to me. And the way that I dance, which involves Kundalini activation, by the way, belly dancing. Oh yes. Even watching people belly dance activates your Kundalini. You guys didn't know that, did you? So he was saying, wow, Persia, wow. So what's your religion? What's your faith base? Because you got to have a religion. And I said, I divorced saying that I'm Christian. Very straightforward. And I will say it to the camera, I divorced saying I'm Christian. I am saved, and I was born again. I was born again. Some people misinterpret that. I was born into the water of the Spirit. I wasn't born of the water of the Spirit. Those are what you call the bases, the basses, the I don't want to say their name because weird things happen. But they're the Catholic denomination. It starts with a J. And nothing wrong with that. But they were born of the water of the Spirit. That's why they're called the Basses. They follow instruction by Inky. Inky is connected to, or Inky, this is a wormhole. Inky basically was overseen by Gabriel, Archangel. It's in all the research if you read it. And then you have born into the water of the Spirit, which means that it's direct from the Father. Born of the water of the Spirit is kind of like when you're born of, you're born of a nurturing mother. They always seek mercy because Mary is the symbolism of mercy. it will give you more high, what do you call it, praise to the Father when you are presented by the Mother, because she gives you mercy. That's what that's all about. I know a lot of stuff, don't I? But this is what happens. This is what happens when you reawaken yourself and you're born again, literally, to know who you really are, to know your true identity. So this guy says, Jesus, was God, and God, came here as a man. And then I think to myself how people are, I thought two things. One, I'm like, people are so structured into that box that they believe this thing so much and they don't really hear or see how they talk, or they don't understand how they look right now, but at the same token, I couldn't judge, even though that kind of was judgment. I had to understand, if he came from another planet and was telling me the truth, I need to shut up and listen. This actually happened. I would share this on another video. This happened to me 4 years ago. And actually led me to come back to LA, and here I am. But this guy was just like kind of saying, you only have one personal savior. You only have one way to go to heaven. And he says, so are you going to heaven or hell? Do you know? And I said, I'm going to heaven. And he was like, oh, are you sure about that? You sure? Sure you're going to go to heaven? And the funny thing about it was, my heart was just saying, if I'm not confident by saying, and then in the eternal life, when this is over, I don't want to be somewhere else. But then that co-creates me going somewhere else that's not heavenly. So in all this mind effery, as I like to call it, all these circles and riddles and things, I just want to get to the nitty grit. Like, I don't appreciate being on earth anymore than you guys do. I appreciate and love everybody who I've come in contact with. I found so much beauty in this journey, but I am so tired right now. I'm very exhausted to capacity. I'm tired of being thrown around, and I'm tired of but at the same time, it's like I understand my gift, and it's really doing something for people. And like even 2 days ago, I didn't think that, sitting down and talking to somebody actually stopped him from killing himself to that same exact time. And that was very, that's kind of why I've been quiet too in the last couple of videos, because it's things like that where it's like, if I'm doing this for other people, why should I have a doubt in myself? Why should I disbelieve that I'm not going to heaven? And it's not about being a good person, doing good deeds. It's just about returning back to where we came from. If you know you came from an eternal place, you heard a distress call to come here, you only go back home. So if I don't know how hell works. That's just not my territory. But I just think people co-create the hell experience. If they really know they effed up and they're a bad person, they did this and they caused corruption and stole money and laundered and all this stuff, and pedophilia and children and sacrificial, if it's in that disgusting department of like, wow, people who politics and the people who are at the highest entity of religion controlling everything, people in the news network, people running the banks, like those are the people who have their own conviction and their own way of redemption. And that's not my territory. It's not my place of judgment. But I know a lot of those people are around me, and I treat them just as I treat my mom. Because at the end of the day, I don't want to go through any judgment process. I don't want to be, in front of divine counsel, and they have to render, if they want me to go back home or not. I don't want to be at the border. Anyways, so this was a long navigated video. But the book of Edras, going back to topic, it talks about this rebuilding of this temple walls. It didn't occur to me that this is all Trump right now. Like the wall, it probably has nothing to do with the southern regional or southern border. Something's just not. When I saw this description, which I put in the description box below this video, it will be very clear that we're in the same page. We're in the same exact thing, and we're upon a shift, and we don't want to miss it this time. I don't know what the shift is. I can't say. I can't predict. I'm not psychic, but I will tell you that I'm going to a good location because I want to amplify my vibration. I want to be in a good place, a good space. I don't want to be on Facebook, so I do plan to leave Los Angeles for the reasons of I just want to be in a higher and a good vibratory place where I can amplify during the first 24 hours and then come back home to kick some ass. Anyway, bye everybody. Thank you for surviving this long video. Oh my gosh, you did it. Take care. Bye.